Hello, I'm here today to show the class a little bit of my personal views of living on the southeast coast and also the west coast. Living on both coasts really has similarities and differences, many of which I'll try and discuss here today. Some of those being the different cultures, weather, and also the lifestyles from the southeast and also the west coast. Have you ever went from living in a small two-stoplight town in the south to an overpopulated area where 100,000 people seems small to most in this area? Well, I have. My name's Jesse, and I'm here today to discuss a little bit of the different lifestyles, cultures, and even how different the weather is from the South and the West Coast. For some of you that haven't really ventured outside your area, home may be where the heart is, but is it truly where you're happy? Growing up in a small town of 1,500 people, I look to the West Coast as a dreamland. Beautiful weather, amazing views, and opportunities of a lifetime. The East Coast has many great things about it: the food, the people, and the old history behind it. These are a few of the many reasons why I can say I love where I came from. People are very personable on the East Coast, especially in the South. Not only does it feel like home, but it will make you feel at ease knowing your neighbors. And now that you know a little bit about the small town area and the feel that it gives you, let's talk a little bit about growing up in the South. Growing up in the South, I was raised learning how to fish, work on the farm, and to respect others. Growing up in a small town of 1,500 people, you grow up learning certain things that most people in the cities usually wouldn't. Respect all around you. Although there are people in the cities that respect others, it is a little less common than you will see in the South. It's one of the most important things you'll learn growing up. The more I am out here in California, the more I see how people rely on others for their needs. Back home, you learn how to grow your own crops, mainly to feed your family, and rely on each other. The West Coast seems to rely on others for that. Since I've talked a little bit about the South, let's discuss some of the things that the West Coast has to offer. Have you ever lived somewhere where the temperature is 60 to 90 degrees year round? Well, I haven't either until I moved to the West Coast, and although it's nice, it also gets a little old. Back on the East Coast, the weather consists of temperatures that can change throughout the day. It could be a rainstorm in the morning, all the way to a tornado 2 hours later, and even a hurricane that evening. The West Coast is mostly sunny skies and warm weather year round. One more thing I have to add is if you like living out with no traffic, no worries at all, well, the West Coast really isn't for you. Now, if you like living out in the freedom of your own backyard, enjoying the things you really like to do, and not having to worry about people around you, well, the Southeast, it's where you need to be. So here today, I hope to discuss and talk about a little bit of the differences from the Southeast and also the West Coast. And hopefully someday you will have the opportunity to go out and enjoy the different lifestyles both sides of the country have to offer.